Wow, hello. Okay, I'm pushing all sorts of buttons for technology, so I'm hoping that I can get somebody to come on and tell me how we're doing, and as we're live. So if I'm looking away from the screen, it's just because I'm checking the laptop next to me here to make sure we're live. So we're going to give everyone about a minute or so to join. And also, Zoom, I'm broadcasting from Zoom, and that's about a 20-second delay from let me just refresh here. Okay, here we go. I think I've got some comments coming up already. That's fantastic. Let's see, here we go. Okie dokie, expand so I can see your comments. Oh my goodness. Hi, Judy. Judy, you're in. That's fantastic. And Patricia, Lisa. Oh, that's fantastic. Okay, you're doing great. Thanks, Lisa. This is I've got, you'll see I've got streaming here in the background, the comments. I can see all your comments. It's something that I like to do. I like to know who's tuning in and where you're at. So I'll keep an eye on that. But there's a 20-second delay, so that's all kind of really weird, right? But that's just how it works. Oh, there you go. So only now am I seeing me holding up on the screen the second laptop. Okay, so Color Chats with Moira. This is a inspired thought that happened about a week ago. And I had stopped doing the Magenta TV show some time ago, over a year ago. And I had no intention going back to doing any kind of sort of social media TV show. But I really had a calling inside of me to chat with people, to talk with people and talk about color and the color mirror system and share knowledge. And I've been doing it in what we previously called this color chat group was previously called the Magenta community, and I've been putting posts up. And I have to say that the post that got the most kind of traction and discussion was when we spoke about color mirrors and personal color messages for you. So having that in mind, I did put a question out to the Color Chats group and ask whether you wanted to be able to pick your 1, 2s, or 3s on the show as well. So I have decided that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to be switching the camera. So bear with me while I do all this technology stuff, all right? And I'm going to show you what bottles are. So I'm going to do a share screen here, advanced. Let me just move the bottles down for you there. A share camera. Camera wouldn't work earlier, so here's holding fingers. It works this time around. Oh, you see, there we go. The camera's doing a weird thing on me today. There we go. We're in. Okay, so there you go. So 1, 2, or 3 is open for you to pick. So all you do is you literally just look into the blank bottle and the energy and feel the number of 1, 2, and 3, and then what are you drawn to. And then in the comments box below, I would like you to put your pick, and at the end of the show, my guest and I will reveal to you what the color message for the week is for you. So I'm hoping that you'll remember that 1, 2, or 3. Okay, you got that? Okay, I'll keep reminding you during the show. Okay, so I wanted to talk about color mirrors and to talk about the bottles that I know intimately from being with the system for about 17 years. I've been involved with Melissa for quite a long time, and the color mirror system, and been teaching it all over the world and diversified with it. I do colors numerology, I've done silver spheres, I've looked into various other things that I can do. I've done love and money boot camps, for example, shadow work, and color is just so versatile. You can do absolutely anything with it. So I wanted to take you on a journey with color mirrors with me and a color chat. So my kind of intuition said start at the beginning, number 1. So I thought we'd start with bottle number 1 in color mirrors, which is a yellow sun bottle. And the first bottle on a sheet of paper that I have, that I used to pick your, when you picked your 1, 2s, and 3s and essences, and I knew which bottle it was because the essences aren't numbered. I just had to create a chart. So I created a rainbow chart that starts in the black and ends in the white and has all the colors in between. So of course, the very first essence bottle I want to chat about today is Black Dragon. And then I thought, okay, well, what are we going to talk about? What's up on the planet? And of course, every time you put the news on today and social media, everybody's talking about Prince Harry and Meghan's interview with Oprah. So I thought, okay, that seems to be very appropriate. And then, of course, when I was feeling into the information, it made complete sense why we have a black dragon and yellow angel when they are a hot topic to discuss. So I would like you, please, to let me know what your feelings are and your insights are about the interview, if you happen to catch it, and share with me, what you felt was actually going on there, or if you have an opinion on it, that's great. And so, yeah, please let me know what you think about the interview, and I'm going to share some more information. But before I go on to the information I want to share with you about Prince Harry, the Yellow and the Dragon, and Meghan, let me just quickly see here. Oh, goodness me, your number picks are coming in. That's amazing. Oh, my goodness. Oh, look at all. Every single one of your names when it pops up, I get this little surge coming up into my heart. I'm just so grateful for all of you. Patricia's on. She said you're freezing. Oh, my goodness me. I'm hoping I'm not freezing for everyone else. And that it could just be your internet, girl, but I'm hoping that it's not yours, because you coming on as my guest later on. All right. Okay. So my son Michael's on number 1. He's picking. My hubby's on. He's picking 3. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Just let me know if anyone else thinks I'm freezing, because Patty says I'm freezing on her, and I'm hoping it's not her internet. Patty, if it is you, before you come live on the Zoom call at the time we agreed, just refresh your internet for me, okay? Catherine, you can share your essence list and numbers with me. I will do that, Catherine. That's no problem. And Joanne says not freezing yet. Okay, thanks for letting me know, so I can carry on broadcast and not have to switch off and start everything again. Okay, so I watched the interview this morning, and because I couldn't miss that this was like the news of the day. And with that, Oprah she first did the first half of the interview with Meghan, and then she did the second half with Harry, and he came on. And there was a couple of things that came up to mind. So what I'm actually going to share with you now, and for those of you who've never done the predictions with me, this might be news for you. For those of you who have, you might enjoy the insights just looking back. So let me just share screen here. I went back and had a look at Prince Harry and what was predicted for him in 2020, because I did the predictions, the 2020 predictions, November 2019 already. I had it all typed up, slides done. I was starting to sell it, and then I knew something was going to happen with him. And then in 2020, January 2020, is when him and Meghan made the announcement that they were pulling away from royal duties. Now, just to put this in context, Harry was in a 1 year in 2020. So you can see here on my chart, 2020 predictions, he was in a 1 year. He was also in the year of the rat, which was the Chinese zodiac for 2020. And it said here, what I predicted was that Harry would be in the spotlight, and there's going to be a lighting up of pressures from the media, and he'll have a more fun year. And I also mentioned that Meghan's in a 7 year, and she's going to be the voice of reason and wisdom. Now, looking back at the interview and what they've said, that's exactly what happened. What's also interesting is that Harry is a number 1 birth, because his birth date is the 15th of September 1984. So he comes to a 37. 3 and 7 makes 10, and he's a 1. So, of course, he was completely engrossed in this yellow 1 energy, which also happens to be our bottle for the year. So we're going to learn about Prince Harry and color and numerology all in one go. Now, something else that was predicted in 2020 was that whoever is in a 1 year, they had this potential to reclaim something or someone that has felt lost for a long time. And I have a feeling that this is very inner work for Harry. He needed to find a connection to himself, but also that it could trigger a new cycle and bring a life that is lighter and easier for him. And that certainly seems to be in tune with what he said to Oprah. Then, of course, his color was this yellow, number 1 bottle. And one of the things we predicted in 2020 for those in a 1 year was to examine where fears keep you out of your true I am self, because that's exactly what this bottle does. It's a sun bottle. It's the center of the universe. It puts you in charge. It puts you in control. It makes you the CEO of your own life. And of course, this is all about the divine birthright to live a life based on joy. So you can be the CEO and you can lead organizations. Of course, he had lots of charitable work, but it doesn't mean that he was happy. All right, so this gave him an opportunity in a 1 year with a double whammy of yellow sun energy to decide what actually makes him happy. Meghan, on the other hand, she was in a 7 turquoise year. And really what turquoise triggered for her that in 2020 was to step up this year. Turquoise is the color of a spiritual leader, a global trailblazer who shows a new way to live the Atlantean dream in a new age. So she really is, you get a hint of what she's actually about, that she's here to shake things up a little bit. And trailblazers is kind of a key phrase to link in with what she was meant to be doing in 2020, doing things differently. Yeah. All right, and then I looked at relationships for Harry and then the context of the two of them. Take a risk with your relationships and romance. You may be surprised at how good it turns out when you fully commit. So again, lovely to look back on these predictions, by the way. I'm finding this quite a lot of fun. And yeah, he had to take a risk. He was the number one and she was a turquoise. And then when you combine the two in color mirrors, it actually makes a bottle called 28 New Beginnings, the turquoise and yellow. So he took a big risk leaving the family, of course, and you know, and as he said on the Oprah interview, you know, they lost their security and income, but he did it. And of course, there's this incredible new beginning that's there for those two lovely young people. Now let's switch to 2021's prediction. So of course, now Harry's no longer in a 1 year; he is now in a 2 year. And what came up for me here with him in the blue prediction for 2021 is it's a color of the peace bringer. It's also the color that relates to those in places of authority. So first of all, the peace bringer was interesting because in the interview, what I picked up was he was trying to unite the family in some way, but doing it peacefully. He wasn't going at war with them, but their reaction wasn't so peaceful, but he did try. It's also the color that relates to those in places of authority. Yeah. And this year, your key mission is to bring peace to your inner world and in turn to the outer world, who's had their fill of being told what to do by leaders wielding their power. Really here, it just says that, you know, enough was enough. And he is having to, you know, and I think also, you know, being able to speak about, you know, having power wielded over him. I think that was just, it was going to happen in a year too for him, without a doubt. And then Meghan is gone from a 7 year into an 8 year, and that's a violet year. And it's a color that represents death and rebirth, transformation and evolution. So I really feel here that that she's been called to be more spiritual, to speak more in tune with what her soul wants her to do with her life, and that's happening this year. So all the activities that she instigates and starts this year, there's going to be a you'll notice that it's linked to a soul trigger, or a violet soul trigger that is just propelling her to go and do what she needs to do. And then if you have a look at them, the influence of this 8 over both of them, and her influence is very, very, oops, hang on, let me just go back here a little bit here. I don't want to miss this slide. Sorry, guys, I missed the slide just a little bit here. You volunteered a long time ago to be here at this time, answering Gaia's call for help in her ascension process. She's so masterful that she can ascend by herself. The help she needed was with the human consciousness as they got stuck in the first rung of the ascension ladder, judgments. Unable to evolve into forgiveness, unconditional love, and knowing everything is perfect, she needed you to come here and remind them of their divinity and the power they have to move beyond separation and therefore judgments. You are a master of light activation. Use your light to change their mind. So she is, according to this in year 8, Meghan is completely on purpose with this mission. She opened up, just by being who she is, she's opened up judgment, separation, the division in cultures, the division in beliefs, and in being with the royal family. So that is all out in the open, which is and part of her soul mission, I think, was just to be that spanner in the works when it comes to the royal family. And then, of course, I'm not surprised that she ended up on Oprah's show because, Harry being in a 2 year, it's all about communication, and her being in a violet year, it's all about bringing the soul and the unity of spirit forward as as the roadmap for the two of them to follow. Now, the other thing is, of course, if you look at Meghan's date of birth, and you might be surprised, those who studied color numerology with me already, is she's born on the 4th and she comes to a 4 as well, right? She comes to a 31-4. So she has this double whammy of fours, because there's this two of them there. So she's a disruptor. Anybody who knows the Uranus energy and bottle in the color mirror system, Uranus is planet of lightning. It gets rid of the old orders, the old structures. It blows them out of the water. She changes things. She's a change maker, and a double 4 sits there, and 4 and 4 is mastery. That's what she's here to do. And very, very powerful Aquarian shape-shifting kind of bomb for any structure that has been held for too long, that hasn't. I think the royal family with Diana, there was this almost this, yes, there's going to be a change. Yes, she was trying to bring it in, but of course, she died before anything could really happen. And I think Meghan's come in, and with that double 4 energy, I think the royal family doesn't know what they got into when they said Harry could marry her, because she was going to disrupt things. And then, and just to show another little number for you, is Oprah's born that Oprah's birthday, of course, also comes to a 4. So I'm not surprised that they gravitated towards Oprah. They live near her. They're neighbors apparently in California, and they gravitated towards her for this interview, because there's just this connection to shapeshifters, to people who change the planet, who change foundations, and who change structures. I'm hoping that that's interesting for you. So I'm going to stop sharing there for a minute and just come back on screen so that I can quickly just have a look what your comments are here. And said it looked like they are very much in love. Yeah, and I also kind of got that feeling of, that they are so beautiful together. Okay, let me go and have a look. Okay, all good, no freezing. Yeah, Patty, it's your one, darling. You need to maybe reboot your internet so that when you come on in a few minutes, we can catch with you. Okay, there's not any comments here about Harry, and I would like to know if you see, because really, I mean, during a color chat, I really want to show you how does color mirrors, and if you look through the lens of a bottle, how does it look? How does relationships look? How do situations and events like Harry and Meghan leaving the royal family look? Because the color can explain things to you so beautifully. So really, in that 1 year that he was in, this is the bottle that says you have to step into your own power. This is about finding out who you are, and doing it through what feels right to you, what you know logically and in your heart is right for you. It's an I am energy. It's I am this. I'm the sun. I'm the center of the universe. I don't have to be just stardust floating around. I actually am a solid ball of fire, and I can do things. So I think there's something about Harry finding, also being, the second child, not being the number one son. I just think that year 1 in 2020 was a huge courageous lion kind of energy that comes out of the yellow sun to help him move forward. And then the essence that I wanted to talk about, the black dragon, is interesting, because when you've got the black dragon and the yellow together, it talks about night and day. It talks about polarities. So, you have the sun shining during the day, and the night sky, the black, because it's got these little beautiful silver little speckles in them. You can see them there, which is like represents the stars. You're looking up at the night sky. That's what the black dragon is. It's a very starry dragon. And when you put the black and the yellow together, this talks about huge mental stresses and depression, and and just feeling not good enough, and in your I amness that you just want to commit suicide. Because that came out in Meghan and Harry's interview, that mentally they were very, very stressed and didn't feel they had support. So these two bottles together speak about polarities and about not having judgment on light and dark. And of course, if you listen carefully to the interview, what seems to be at the core of their decision, Harry said it was about safety, but there really was this racist connotation that came through in the interview as well. So I think the two of them have really highlighted a little bit around what the yellow and the black dragon is all about. So very interesting. When people pick number 1, they are definitely if clients come to me and they pick number one, I tend to ask them, what are you in charge of? You've got this energy, the CEO of something. You're definitely a boss of something. And if you're not, this is a potential for you. But also, asking them about their mental state. Are they feeling happy? Do they have happy thoughts? Where are they with their mental stresses? But also just this just says I want to be independent. I want to do my own thing. I want to pursue learning about myself and my own power. And when the black dragon is chosen by people, I tend to look at it as currently maybe not quite seeing the light, feeling a little bit lost, feeling a little bit overwhelmed, and just looking for the light at the end of the tunnel. So that's how that one felt. So so let me see. Oh my goodness me, I do look like I've frozen on the laptop as well. Okie dokie. Completely frozen on the laptop, so I have no idea if I'm still live or not. I'm going to have to go on my phone and have a look. I'm sorry, guys. We worked this weekend. If you are watching me, just give me a minute to figure this out. We did work this weekend at ensuring that the internet was connected. So let me just go back onto Facebook on my phone and see if we're still streaming, because the laptop is absolutely just frozen on me and died. Okie dokie. Anne says we're fine. Okay. Well, I'm just going to have to, what I'm going to have to do is just catch your comments on this one, my darlings, because obviously, I don't know why, but the laptop is frozen on me completely. All right, let me just call you up here so I can see where you're at. Okay, let's have a look. And let me just catch up on, I don't know why, but the laptop. Okay, there we go. I've taken the voice off. You're not frozen, all good, all fine. Still streaming. Oh, thank you for your messages, darling. And thank you for being so kind. When I did the Magenta show, what happened was, I had Michael producing me and looking after me, and I didn't have this kind of issue at all, but at least I can catch you now and I can see your comments. That's all I was interested in, was catching your comments. So let me just close that laptop and put it away. It's being silly. All right. And then I think there was something else I was going to share with you. Yeah, I was going to talk about a shadow card. And I have my shadow deck here. I've got the sample deck that's come out from the printer. Amy and I have finished, or just about finished, editing it. And the booklet has to be changed. It's a bit silly. You can't work with a booklet like that. But there's the deck. And isn't it lovely and shiny and black? It's come out very, very elegant. The printer that we're going to commission to do the deck is actually going to do a nice silver gilt for us as well, so that it has that same silver finish that the Color Mirrors deck has, because it's this mirror story is it. So I'm just going to shuffle, and then I'm going to pull a card so you can see this is real. I didn't plan this one. I wanted the shadow card to be a spontaneous thing. So let's see, which one did I pick? Oh, it's the authentic card. Okay. You mask your true nature to fit in. You pretend your success is real. I integrate the facets of my personality, and I am truthful. That is exactly in line with what Prince Harry was saying, because him and Meghan had to pretend that they were okay. Meantime, inside they were crying, and they were completely stressed. So breaking away from the royal family meant that they were looking for something a lot more authentic. And very often that's what that one bottle does. It's the beginning of you seeking something that is a little bit more authentic. Okay, I integrate facets of my personality, and I am truthful. There we go. Part of your journey about becoming authentic and claiming your own power, and is setting yourself free in some way, taking the masks off. You can look at the gargoyle image there. There's all these masks on there. We have to take masks off and come back to the core of who we really are, and be honest with ourselves as well. And a part of that journey, by the way, is you stepping out of your cage, that you're wearing your masks. And I found Oprah's interview so interesting because a section of it when they went to Meghan and Harry's house was all filmed inside a chicken coop. So you've got all these wires around them. It looked like a prison, and the wires shadow on Harry and Meghan and Oprah's face. I found that kind of imagery quite striking. And this was chickens that Meghan had rescued. So there they were really talking about chickens that were being rescued, but really what they're saying is we had to rescue ourselves because we need to live a more authentic life. So that's a good question for you to ask yourself. Does your shadow still have you pretend and put on a mask that says, you have to be something for somebody else and negate who you really are? So that's a little question for you for the week, to think about your shadow and what can you do and how can you be more yourself and be more authentic and remove masks. We also, according to the 2021 predictions that I did, the 5-year was also all about letting go masks. So a very good year to really find something that's more authentically you. Yeah, so that's the shadow card for the week. I hope you enjoyed that one. All right, let's just have a look before I bring on my guest. Oh, that's fantastic. Learning about the yellow and black bottle, says Joan. Oh, that's nice. Thank you, Joan. And we're going to work our way through color mirrors. We're going to work 1, 2, 3. We're going to go through the system in number order and the essences in color order. By the way, what I did want to say was this black dragon has got a lovely smell. Its top note says jasmine, rose, and cinnamon. So when you spray it, you just get it, these deep, that cinnamon especially adds a lot of depth to the smell. So it's such a nice, smell. Okie dokie. Fabulous. Shadow deck is wonderful. Tracy, I didn't watch a full interview, saw snippets and expected an uproar. Have mixed feelings on the positive. She's talking about Harry, and Tracy is from South Africa, and she's talking here about Harry's interview. Have mixed feelings on the positive. I feel age-old paradigms need to shift, and I'm pleased Meghan and Harry called it. And on the other hand, I sense some victimhood. Yeah, they definitely, that's that chicken cage coop thingy that I was looking at. I'm thinking of color mirrors teachings and how we choose everything, so I can't blame. There's also the money-making element associated with the interview, which does tarnish some of the authenticity. I like how you brought the numbers and colors. It makes sense, and I'll try to keep an open mind. Yeah, Oprah kind of in the beginning of the interview said, we didn't pay you for this. And Meghan confirmed, says, no, you didn't pay us for the interview. So, yeah. Anne says, past life stuff. She's a vegan. Is that because she rescued the chickens, Anne? Oh, goodness me. That's it. Okay, those are the nice comments. Thank you for your comments. I appreciate that. Okay, so what I really want to move on to now, and please remember that I would like you to very kindly pick 1, 2, or 3. I'm just getting Patty in the back there. Patty, are you joining me there? Excellent. Fabulous, darling. Welcome. Okay. And we can unmute you now. Hi, Patty.
Hello, hi.
Your screen kept freezing. Are you okay?
Yeah, it was, I just shut Facebook right down and redid it and it was fine. So
Okay, that's fantastic to know. Oh, thank you so much. There were 36 people who wanted to be the first person to have a reading on the color chats, and I did the random selecting between number 1 and 36, and 24 was picked, and you were 24. So I'm just so grateful you're willing to be on.
oh yes, I'm excited. Thank you for inviting me to do this.
So what did you think was of the interview? Did you watch it at all, Patty?
I just watched it before I came on to this, just online, and I was impressed and a bit surprised at some of the things they talked about. I hadn't really been aware of the details of things, but I really liked how committed they are to each other and supportive of her, rather than, worrying about what other people are thinking about them, and just enjoying their life and doing what they are called to do, which is so amazing, especially from a royal. We never imagine anybody else in the royal family doing this, other than perhaps Diana. If she had lived, she would have probably the same idea.
I completely think that Diana was a bit bipolar, and I can imagine if like Meghan, she did go and look for some kind of counseling or drugs or psychiatric help, it would have been, she might have had the same response, or and maybe not have had that support as well. So, family patterns repeat themselves, so and family stories repeat themselves. So, interesting, hey?
It's good though, and yeah, I'm happy that the way they are now. I like they've done this.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know who Patty is, would you like to tell people just a little intro around what your interests are?
Mm-hmm. Well, I have lots of interests, but my main passion is working with animals. So I am a Reiki master teacher, and I do work with people, but animals I'm so drawn to them. It's such a strong calling that's what my main focus has been on. And I have my own 2 kitties that live with me here, which started during when COVID began. That's what it sort of, when the lockdown happened, I decided to start fostering. And now I have 2 that are mine. But working with the animals has been a blessing for me as well, because although I am working to help them heal in any way they need, I find that it heals me too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the
they're
owners,
yeah, exactly. Oh yes, and this is something
the animals act up because the owners are stressed. So
that's right.
yeah, so when I was listening to Harry and Meghan, they referred several times to their 2 dogs and how they love their dogs, and the dogs are part of the family. And I thought that was very sweet. But to be a bit more serious about it, there's a lot of people that have committed to pets during the lockdown period while they were at home, and then they're going to go to work, and these animals are going to have all these issues. Do you want to just share what your thoughts are around that, Patty?
I totally agree. I mean, it's wonderful that they've had this chance to, to rescue a lot of the animals, our rescues, which is amazing. However, the animals are getting so attached to their humans that once the human goes back to their regular life, going back to work or school or whatever it is they would have done pre-COVID, the animals are going to feel anxiety, and it'll be like separation anxiety. And
Yeah.
that can manifest in different ways. It can be behavioral. It could be just, they stop eating. They, they don't have any energy, become very lethargic. So, I understand when people are home, they have the time to do more with the animal, to play with them, to walk them and all this. And I think it's important that we as humans consider how this is going to affect them, and to take steps now.
So what tips can you give people that are, because I've spoken to a lot of my neighbors, because I've got little Cody and I walk him around the neighborhood, and some of these people have got really big dogs. I mean, there's this one family got a Rottweiler, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is a really, really big dog. And when we got chatting, it was a cute little puppy, and he's really grown big in the last year. And their fear was when they go back to work, they don't know how to exercise and work with the dog. The tip I gave them is that, what Paul and I did in our home was we called in a trainer to come and give us some training. They didn't train the dog, he trained us, and to understand the dog better, right? So that's the one tip I gave. But please, do you have anything else you can give for all the pet owners out there? If you had to tell Harry and Meghan, right? You're going back to work. Your chickens.
Your yeah, they're chickens, the girls, she calls them girls. Yes, I think what people need to be doing is, cats are a little simpler because they are fairly independent, although they can feel it too. But with dogs, I think the important thing is to spend more time when you can away from your home, leaving them alone, perhaps getting them used to being in a crate if that works for them. Letting them be a little bit more independent, let them Like, don't always be playing with them and interacting with them. And it sounds kind of mean, but in reality, if you were working every day, that's what we would be. They would be alone. They wouldn't have any, they have their toys and they probably sleep a lot. Or and with the walks, again, start to taper down the walks. Don't be taking them out every half hour, every hour, because you can now, but to start to lengthen that period of time so they're more gives them, their bodies physically and their minds, a time to adjust to the fact that all of a sudden they're going to be without those walks and without that ability to just go outside, prior to that actually being their reality. It's just, it's weaning them off. And that's the way it's going to be. And of course, like I, as a Reiki master, I'm working with animals and offering healing energy. It's also something that can benefit your animal, whether it's now or when you do go back to work, but it's calming them, providing them with that calming energy to help them just sort of relax and adjust easier. So I think those are just a couple of things that I can think of off the top of my head.
I personally, I was just checking to see if anybody had any comments or any questions for you. Please, you guys ask Patty questions about your animals, okay? That people who love walking dogs, that's going to become an industry because there's so many more animals now,
Right.
and so I think if you love dogs and you want to earn some extra pocket money, start walking dogs.
Yeah, and that's something as
are at home, yeah, and also consider a service to your neighbor. If you know your neighbor's gone back to work and your business has changed so much, your company now really says, hey, you can actually work 3-4 days at home a week now. You don't have to come to the office as much. It could just be that you are there at lunchtime and you could possibly just alert your neighbors and say, hey, let me, while I'm walking my dog, let me walk your dogs at the same time. So it could be that is a way forward. But I've got doggy daycare and Joan says doggy daycare at the same time.
Oh yeah, there's lots of businesses now starting as pet sitters generally. I mean, they've always been around, but they, of course, a lot of them now during COVID when we were in lockdown had to sort of stop. However, a pet sitter will actually come into your home, even with cats. So, like I've taken advantage of a friend of mine has helped me out when I was doing a weekend away back in the summer, and I would come in and feed my cats the wet food and just spend some time playing with them and interacting with them.
Yeah.
And then that was all they needed because most of the time they sleep anyway. But so for dogs or cats or whatever animals you have, you can hire someone to come in. And as you said, perhaps a neighbor or a friend is willing to do that as well, because people are looking for things to do, looking for ways they can help people. And it's a simple way, for sure, is to, ask someone for help, or if you're available, to offer help when you know someone's going back. Absolutely.
I think I must talk to my husband about a new business. The entrepreneur in me always thinks about, we could be doing businesses and helping people at the same time. And we do love animals, and we do talk to all the. It's funny when we walk around our neighborhood, Patty, we don't actually know the owners' names. We don't know all the dogs' names. We go, there goes Winston's mom, and there goes Fifi's, dad walking it, and we know all the animals, but not the owners.
Exactly. And when you get a dog walker, even if you were to do it now, they walk in packs, and it's good socialization for your animal as well, for your dog, so they're used to it. And I know there's, you can go to dog parks and all of this stuff. I'm not really.
They haven't all been open, but
that's right. But there's definitely ways, because if they have that social interaction now, it helps them to continue it and being comfortable with it once you go back to work.
And they're calmer as well.
Yeah, absolutely. They need socialization as much as we do.
Yeah, I know my sister-in-law in Wasaga Beach, her and her husband got a little puppy. Their dog died and passed away. And then they said, okay, we're going to get our next dog. So it wasn't a COVID dog. It was just they were ready for a new dog.
Yeah.
And they've noticed the difference between this one growing up as a puppy, having had no social skills and meeting other people, how timid it is and scared it is doing, of noises and people coming in the front door. If there is a delivery, for example, the next door neighbor pops in to check up on them, and compared to when they had the first dog. So it definitely, the shutdown has made
Oh,
that
it has.
isolation made a difference.
Yeah, like my cats, as I said, I got them when COVID hit. So they have never had people around, or very rarely there's been people here. So when someone does come over, they are gone. They're hiding under the bed or somewhere. And the other,
Hillary Scott just said, yes, same with me at the dog park. I really know the owners' names, only their dogs.
well, it's true.
Hillary.
I know.
Hillary
And
has
I've
dogs.
noticed when I go out walking and I see someone with their dog, and of course, I have to ask if I can pet the dog, but I find that the owners are often saying to me, the humans are saying to me, that their animals who have been used to people are struggling now because they aren't getting that exposure. And so when someone comes up to pay attention to them, they're like, oh,
Yeah.
they get so excited because they miss that as well.
Yeah.
Because
No, we definitely see it in our neighborhood with the dogs. Yeah. Well,
they're so sensitive.
so Patty, as a guest on the show today, we did offer you a reading, and we said you could choose between a color reading, numerology, or star reading, and you picked a numerology reading, and specifically for the name of your business. So I actually went and prepared a little couple of slides to just talk you through some of the information. And if you have any questions, of course, as we go along, please ask. So I'm going to just make sure that we are on gallery view so people can still see both of us. And I'm going to share screen and go to the slides again here and just let the technology gods be kind to me today. Okay. Can you see your slide there?
Yes.
Okay, excellent. So we're good to go. Okie dokie. I'm just going to give us a chance to come on. There we go. And are they seeing both of us on the thing? This is a great thing about being able to check where we're at. So only I'm showing and not you. And if you speak, you come on and it flashes on and off. Okay. Okay, let's hope that as we speak, Patty, they will show both of us here. Okay, numerology reading, business name. So your business name, and I took a little screenshot of your website as well, Peacock Spirit Animal Reiki. The first time when I landed on this image, and I felt very peaceful straight away. I could really feel this is somebody that I would want to communicate and connect with. Where did Peacock Spirit come from, Patty?
It was actually from, I was having a reading from a psychic who's a friend. And as we were talking, she's telling me what she's getting. She said, okay. She just sort of stopped. Okay. That's how she reacts to what they're telling her. So she says, I keep getting peacock. I don't know what it means, but I'm getting peacock. And of course, I don't really know what she's talking about. I don't have nothing. It doesn't mean anything specific. So anyway, she says, well, I'll just leave it with you and that's fine. So over the next several days, peacocks kept showing up in various forms, either on a Facebook post, someone would post a peacock, or I'd be in a shop in town and there would be this peacock pillow or a figurine of a peacock. It just everywhere I went, I kept seeing peacocks. And I sort of, as that happened, I thought, well, there's got to be something to this. And I was trying to think of a name. And so I did some research on peacocks, and they are very spiritual birds. And so I decided that must be the sign for me that this is to be the name, so Peacock Spirit. Yeah.
Have you ever had numerology done on the name?
Nope.
No. Okay. So, all right. Well, hopefully this is interesting. So let's go for it. Okay. So first of all, Peacock Spirit Animal Reiki. I took the full name as you gave it. And in numerology, Patty, We've got, you haven't studied numerology with me yet, hey?
No,
Yeah,
I haven't.
you're busy on another course right now, but okay. So everything in numerology goes 1 to 9, and you take the alphabet, and this can be the alphabet in any language in any country, and you simply start by saying A, B, C, D, go right up to 9 and go back to 1 again, and so on until your whole alphabet is in this grid. So that means that every letter in the name that you're looking to analyze, in this case your business name, has a number value. So the P has a number value of 7, and you add up those numbers, and that's how you get your calculations. I also learned to divide things in consonants and vowels with Melissa Jolly, who is my teacher and taught me numerology and color many years ago. So this is what it looks like. Your consonants, which is like, your P, your C, your K, your S, your P, that came to 57 when I added them all up. And in color mirror system, that is the G6 bottle. Okay. And when you get 57, you have to bring everything to a single digit. So 5 plus 7 is 12, 1 plus 2 is 3. Then in numerology, everything has to be between that 1 and that 9. You've got to get your number down to that single digit. Then that is what the G6 looks like. It's copper on top of the olive. And this bottle is a goddess bottle. It's a Gaia bottle, Patty. And first of all, just well done, because you intuitively went with this name. And of course, copper relates to Reiki healers. It's just a color that automatically people who do Reiki work pick. And yeah, and the G6 is 6 is all about love and Venus energy. So it really also just speaks about the energy, because all of this reflects who you are and who you are in your business and how people are actually seeing you, right? In consonants especially, is how are people picking you up? What's this vibe they get from you when you say to them, hey, I've got a business called Peacock Spirit Animal Reiki. So far the vibe is looking pretty cool. How do you feel about that one?
I love it, actually. I never, because I've never done numerology or studied it, I hadn't even thought about the possibility of it applying to a business name. So I love this.
And then 12 is violet sitting on top of red, and it's called Heaven on Earth. So it just feels here that you're doing heaven's work on earth. To simplify it that much, it just feels like the Peacock Spirit Animal Reiki, there sits the Reiki and the copper, and there sits the spiritual work on the planet in 12. And heaven on earth also is something that says, hey, you're doing something, because you started today's chat with me saying you love what you do. You love working with animals. This is your heaven on earth. Okay. And then the 3 is Jupiter. And this third bottle in color mirror is Jupiter, which we will do in two weeks chat. I'll focus a bit more on this bottle as well. This is coral. And coral is to do with the physical bodies. And actually, coral is very close to orange because it sits in the same part of the body in the chakra system. And of course, orange is the color that animals relate to. So you really are saying here that the Reiki work you do is not just emotionally and spiritually healing, but for the physical body. So I don't know, but do you get a lot of calls from people with animals in physical distress for Reiki?
Yes, I get quite a bit of both, physical and emotional, but yes, yeah, I do.
You could definitely handle both with those numbers. Yeah. And then we had a look at your vowels. When we added your vowels up, it came to 64. And in the color mirror system, that is bottle G13. And then again, we have to bring the numbers down to a single digit. 6 plus 4 gives you 10. And 1 plus 0 gives you 1. So the bottles are G13. And this one is like that pale gold and pink. And it's called Grace. Now, your vowels, there's a difference between the consonants and the vowels. The consonants is about how the world sees you, how your clients see you when you give them your business card to say, hey, I'm Peacock Spirit Animal Reiki person. And your vowels is more the things you know about yourself, your internal process, your reasons why you do things. In a bigger company, because you're a solopreneur, entrepreneur, but in a bigger company, it would literally be the policies and procedures that the guidelines, the inner guidelines that the staff would follow. So your inner guide is literally it's grace. It's the energy of grace and Mary Magdalene. So you being self-employed is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. It's funny, grace is one of my words of the year too.
Oh, excellent. And then 10, of course, is the Wheel of Fortune, and that's gold and olive. And again, it says here, this is something you can make money with, and it can pay your bills and things and keep turning. But for me, the Wheel of Fortune is that balance, and it sits right under the heaven and earth, which is a very balanced bottle. And 10 is that balance between love, money, and joy. I love what I'm doing. It makes me joyful, and I can earn money with it. So there shouldn't be any reason why Peacock Spirit Animal Reiki shouldn't be earning you money. So if you have any money blocks, this will be a really good bottle to work with internally, because this is your vowels, your internal side of you, to heal that so that you can ask for money and get paid appropriately for your services.
Great, thank you.
And then, of course, number 1, the CEO. How funny that it's also the bottle we discussed, and it's all about Prince Harry's 2020 bottle and his birth bottle. So, I mean, hello. I mean, I would just, when I did this, I just gave a big giggle about it. But yeah, so the things I said about yellow today, hopefully that was useful for you as well, because it says here that you are you can run this as an independent business. You don't need to roll it out and duplicate it in any way. You can run it as an independent person, and just get on with the job of what is heaven on earth for you. But yellow also says that this is something that makes you happy. That joy that sits there. And yeah, I liked it. I really liked the colors.
Yeah, and I'm in a year 1. So,
You're in a year 1 too. Okay, well, there you go. Year 1, yellow, all right. I mean, it's been such a yellow day. I actually contemplated for the show today to put lots of yellow on, but not my favorite color. So I had to go back to my little blues and indigos that are my go-tos to keep me calm in my first broadcast anyway. Oh, let's just see. Just before I carry on, let's just see here. Philippa says, beautiful name. Sherry says, great chat, Moira and Patty. So much useful information. And of course, we know Sherry also has a little doggy. Amy says, just joined now. Okay, Amy, you're going to have to watch from the beginning, girl. We've said some really good stuff today. Anne says, I almost called my business name as Peacock. Oh, my goodness. So she also felt drawn to the name. Okay, fabulous. Let's get onto the last little bit. So now we also total up our consonants and vowels to see the total value or the total numerology energy that comes with this name, Patty. It comes to 121, which is bottle 34 in the system. Now, how that works is Color Mirrors has got the numbers 1 to 87. So it doesn't have 121, 21st bottle. But on 87, we go back to number 1 and start counting again. And that got us to 34.
Right, okay.
All right, so 34 would technically be the 121st bottle. Now, 1 plus 2 plus 1 is 4. And of course, if you look at your vowels and consonants, you add the 3 and the 1, it comes to 4. And that way, you know your calculation has been correct. Yeah. So there's your 34 and there is your 4. Tell me, what do you feel about the kind of collective energy that represents your business?
Oh, now 34, is that the whale?
Yes, it is.
It is.
You have an animal bottle in Peacock.
And that color is in peacocks too. And actually, in one of the very first readings you just, for me, way back when you were just, offering them, and the first one I picked and the number I picked was 34.
Okay.
And I'm drawn to that color. I love the color.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. And of course, you're quite right, because there's the color, there's the turquoise and the deeper turquoise in your name, as well as the gold colors and yellow colors. You've got them speckled around the display that you have on your picture. So from a business point of view, if you were going to somebody like Amy, for example, Amy Bell, because she does a lot of graphic and business branding colors for people, from that perspective, you've taken and incorporated the colors that are just part of the numerology and energy of the name, and you've put them into your logo already, and the way you've laid it out there. So I don't think anything would need to change. Maybe Amy can chip in on this a little bit, because she's got a lot of she's just saying something now. I love seeing 10s and 1s in business names. Yeah. Oh, me too. It's money and sunshine and joy and happiness and leadership and success.
That's good for me. Oh, yeah. I love this. This is perfect.
How does this, is this confirmation at all, Patty?
Oh, it is totally. It's just, it's kind of blowing me away here a bit. Um, I guess once I learn more about numerology, it'll all sort of, I'll be able to do things myself and figure things out for myself as well. But I love this.
Oh, I'm so
I had
glad.
no idea how much it worked, how it really worked. So I love this.
Oh,
But
well, I'm pleased that you gave us a business name as well, especially a long one with all these numbers that are so juicy to play with. Yeah,
me too. I'm really pleased with this. I really appreciate it. It's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Well, I'm pleased. I
It
know
makes me, well, this year one, being in a year one, I've been feeling very positive and joyful and excited about the year for me. So this just sort of makes it seem like I'm the way I'm feeling is the way I should be feeling because everything's going perfectly for me.
yeah. And Amy has replied now. She said, I love it. I wouldn't change it. And she also has the olive and the feather, which is a nice feminine energy. Yeah. She's picking up the little shades of olives in there as well, which comes, of course, the G6 and the olive and the 10 that's in there. Yeah.
Yeah,
No, Amy's given us the nod there.
oh, thank you, Amy.
I'll take a screenshot of this and send it to you. Okay.
Thank you. Yes,
Let me come back here. So, right, we have got 5 minutes to go, Patty. So we're going to now just double check that everybody's picked their 1, 2, and 3. If you haven't yet picked it, you've got literally a few seconds. Pick 1, 2, or 3. Pop it into the comments box. And which one were you drawn to, Patty? 1, 2, or 3 this week?
I picked 3.
3. Okay, my hubby picked 3 and my son picked 1, so that's going to be interesting. Oh, okay. So how I'm going to just switch us over to the second camera, and again, fingers crossed, technology is with me today. There we go. Okay, can you see that, Patty?
I can.
So the camera is working. Oh, Amy said she's picking 2, and Sherry said she's picking 2. Oh, excellent. Okay, so I'm just waiting for us to pop up here. There's a time delay. Yeah, I just wish that they would show you as well. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, and 3. And how I chose the bottles is I have a random number generator on Google. So I just say to Google, please pick me a bottle between 1 and 36. And I hit the button, comes up with a number, and then that becomes the bottle. So I know my previous show, the Magenta show, I used to have my guests and producers and people big bottles, and that's where we had a chat. So I don't have that kind of team right now. So we've had to do it this way. So 1, 2, or 3. For those of you who picked number 1, you have got bottle 30. And that one is called Creativity, and it's turquoise. And this one says that you maybe need to put down some things that are a waste of time, things that are not feeding your soul, feeding your creativity energy, and kind of just drawing a line and saying, I'm not going to do that anymore, and then use that energy that you would maybe spend on binging on Netflix, for example, and bring it into doing something creative. You're in this is a really good week to think about refreshing your website. That's a creative process, thinking about maybe clearing out some of your winter clothes, getting ready for spring, doing something that feels creative, that feels like you're putting some energy, cleaning, cleansing, renewing energy in, anything that kind of gets you thinking of being creative. Because even changing a wardrobe can be a creative process, because you kind of look at something when you think, oh, I haven't worn it for a year, am I going to wear it ever again? And your brain gets sticking and getting creative, into a creative forecast into the future. The other thing with this turquoise energy is it's kind of, what can you do in the background? Because the other side of this is that coral energy, Jupiter, big expansion energy, and really, if you were going to become big with something, become visible with something, like Patty, if you wanted to, for example, have more clients and grow your business more, what can you do this week that would be creative, that would get people more interested in your business, be more visible? So I would think along those creative lines as well for anybody who's picked number 1. My son picked number 1, Michael, and I think it's a week of treading water, maybe a little bit, very turquoisey energy, treading water a little bit. I'm not maybe feeling such solid ground, but the idea here is that you keep moving and keep thinking of new creative ways to move forward into the future. I'm hoping that one's useful. And number 2, so here we go. And it was 15. I don't know why, but actually this number generator on Google, Patty, it often picks 15. It likes that number. I was like, oh no, this one again. It's a magician. It's olive green, and it's again 1 + 5 makes 6. So there's a lot of love in this bottle. But I think here that this is a magician that creates for others. This is not a selfish magician who goes on stage with his assistant and gets the applause and the accolades and the pay. This is about a magician that is definitely more spiritually connected. So whatever magic they make, they share it with other people. And it ties in with that little thing we said earlier about if people are at home and their neighbors have gone back to work, offer to walk their dog, kind of be nice. The biggest thing that Olive teaches us is hope, is to have hope. So this week, my darlings, if it's a difficult week for you and you kind of feel, when's this all going to change? When will things get better for me? This is a week you've got to believe in hope, and you've got to hang on to every little hope you can possibly garnish inside of you, and hold on to it, because everything's going to turn out okay. All right, no matter what news hits you this week. And focus on love and focus on sharing magic with other people. How does that one feel, Patty?
I like it. I didn't pick it, but I like it. I like hope.
Kind of for you and me. I think all 3 of them are a little bit relevant.
No, that's how I'm feeling.
Oh, Anne said, love this bottle. Moira, Andrew says, my number, and I am a 15. Awesome magic. Oh my goodness, Moira, yeah, you are 15. I remember that. Tanya Steiner, also from South Africa. Hi, Tanya. Love that number 1 bottle. Yes, thank you for the creative push. Diane, I like the way you have the bottle display there. Thank you, Diane. You've got no idea how tense I've been about juggling all the cameras and the technology. I had practiced all weekend, and I've got a whole bunch of messages I haven't even responded to because I wanted to get that right for you guys and make it pleasing. Loretta, you chose number 2, yeah. And Joanne Arjun chose number 2. Yeah, oh, yeah, you're all magicians in my eyes. Right, Patty, here we go. You're number 3. Are you ready? Drum roll. Yes. Boom, 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 boom. And I apologize beforehand.
Oh, gosh.
Violet 8 Saturn. Holy crumbs. And of course, you in the 1 year, right? So there sits the complimentary. I was like, when this came up, I thought, oh, yeah, typical, because I'm in an 8 year. So I thought, yeah, it would show up, wouldn't it? Okay, so Violet is about service. Violet is about transformation and change. And 8 is that infinity symbol. It's the one that says, go with the flow, find the balance. And of course, it relates to the planet Saturn, which is Father Time. So this week is not a week to rush things. This is a week to listen to what your violet soul has to say to you. Very much like I was saying about Meghan Markle, because she's in an 8 year this year as well as Oprah, by the way, and myself, Melissa Jolly, the founder of Columners. There's a whole bunch of us that's in an 8 year this year. This is being very true to our soul calling. This is being true to what we're destined to do here on the planet. And so, Patty, I love that we did this reading your name for you, so that you really get connected to this as a soul calling for you to work with the animals and do the Reiki with your business. I think that this message really is about embracing that soul calling and making peace with it, and not kind of saying, oh, I'll do it next year, or I'll do it next week, or I'll think about it when I retire. It's about this week actually solidly saying, okay, I own this. Is my destiny. I'm meant to be doing this. It's like me being in front of the camera again. Oh God, I couldn't believe I was sitting and doing hair and makeup and thinking, oh God, Moira, what did you do? You committed to a show again. And then you know how time consuming and energy and don't know what you're doing. And then the whole time I just kept going, I'm in an AT, I'm in a violet, I'm here to be of service. It's not about me. Not about me. It is about sharing the knowledge, sharing color mirrors with the world. So I want you to keep that in mind. It's about your energy, your love that you share with the animals and the animal kingdom and the owners who have custodian of them.
Yes. Oh, I love it actually. That's a great bottle for me.
And can I make a suggestion as well? Because if I just look at all three of them kind of together here about sharing the magic with other people that comes in that bottle there, and then there's such creativity there. Can I suggest that you write an ebook, Patty?
Mm-hmm.
Just say, from the Peacock Animal Whisperer, I just want to say that, these are the tips you need to pay attention to prepare your dogs for when you go back to work and your cats. And what can just little tips. It can literally be a 20-page document that, people can just download as a PDF document. But I would say that collectively what this is saying here is get that information out into the world through a book. That to me would be the creative turquoise energy, the magic, sharing it with the world, the violet, you're meant to be of service, but just do a little bit more than one-to-one with animals. Is that making sense?
Yeah, I have been thinking about something like that anyway, so that just confirms it for me.
Yeah. We often take for granted the knowledge we have. And let me just come back to us on screen here, Patty. We often take for granted the knowledge and experience and just common sense things we have. And we forget that people need to hear and read those things or access to them. And you want that information to be available. So you can categorize it, maybe talk about, food, and talk about exercise and the physical health and the mental health and the space and time, and, really go into it and give a little chapter for each one of those categories. And that to me, that feels like these bottles would support you on that journey.
Okay, that's awesome. I love it. Thank you.
What would you call a book like that?
I don't know yet. I don't know yet.
Come on.
I have to think about that.
Yeah, tips from the Peacock Animal Reiki was
Yes,
something like
yeah.
that.
Yeah, something good. I'll think of something good.
Yeah. Well, Patty, thank you so much for coming on the show today, and everybody who tuned in to watch. I'm so grateful for you as well. What was the experience like, Patty? Would you recommend others do it?
I do, absolutely. This has been fun, and I learned a lot. So I'm really happy that I was chosen for this week.
Yeah, so every week I'll be putting a post in the Color Chats group saying, "Would you like to be on the show?" Pop your favorite emoji in, and then I take those emojis and put them in a tumble thing, and we come up with a number and choose somebody to come on the show. But it was so synchronistic with you with the number ones and the yellows. And, oh, it's been just, again, you can't plan these things, right? They just
I know, between the cards and the colors, it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
And remember the shadow card said, be authentic, eh?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, that's great. Well, thank you so much for having me on. It's been really, I've enjoyed it. Yeah.
Thank you. And everybody who's commented, I really appreciate it. And share the broadcast when we go live, and please put comments in, because all the Facebook rules have changed and people aren't going to know that we're even live without there being some kind of interaction. Otherwise it just kind of disappears into the Netherlands. And really help me to spread the message on the power of color, and let's continue to have color chats. I'll see you next week. Next Monday, same time, 1:00 this time. It might have changed. The time zones, I think, might change. Is it the Sunday, Patty? I'm not sure. Our time zones are changing, so just keep it on time.
Oh, yes, this weekend coming. It will. Yeah. The clocks go forward here. So
yeah, it might be you're catching me at 5:00 or 7:00, depending on how the clocks go. I never know. I have to Google these things.
I can't keep track of it either.
Oh, Patty, thank you, darling. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. I will end our broadcast now. And I will see you next week on Monday. Cheers. Bye.
Bye.